shock decision to bring back Billie Piper as the 16th Doctor, or did they, has divided fans. There is even a Billie backlash. This might not have been the best decision. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our Tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
Billie Piper seemed to regenerate into the 16th Doctor. But the hills are alive with whispers that maybe she's not actually the 16th Doctor. She wasn't credited as the 16th Doctor at the end, which is, I think, a big hint. And I think, looking at the comments I've had on the two videos I've done previously, there are two main theories that seem to be bouncing around. One is that it's Rani, the version that was eaten by the Omega, or the version that escaped, who knows? But they believe that she has somehow managed to take over the regeneration process, and it's actually her. There's another theory bouncing around that I actually subscribe to. I think this is probably right. Is that it's actually Idris. It's actually the TARDIS matrix that has either taken over the regeneration, or I think more likely piggybacked on it. I think when she goes, "Oh, hello," at the end there, I think she's actually talking to the Doctor, who's in that body as well. Because, I mean, the Doctor's consciousness, the Doctor's being must have gone somewhere. I think it is still in that body. I think the TARDIS is there too, though, or a part of it at least. She couldn't survive in a human body in the Doctor's Wife episode, but maybe she can survive in a Doctor's body. Now, I actually think this will end up being then a series, basically, if we ever get season 3, of Billie Piper's character and the Doctor's character within that body, sort of in confrontation, or maybe even battle for the spirit of the body, whatever. I actually think this could be a way to bring back Ncuti Gatwa. I'm hearing that's not what's happening, but it's a possibility. I would also love to see Matt Smith come back, because Matt Smith was the Doctor that met Idris first time, so he could come back. I will have to wait and see, but I think there will be a Doctor returning from the past in the next season, I suspect. But we don't know. But the fact that she said, "I wanted to say hello" in the good the Doctor's Wife episode, and then Billie Piper says, "Oh, hello," I don't think is a subtle hint. And also, during the regeneration sequence, there's a flash to the TARDIS, the main console sort of thing. I was told that's a hint, so we'll see. The other thing is the TARDIS energy, when it left Idris's body, looks an awful lot like regeneration energy. Just saying. But why do I say that there's been a backlash against Billie Piper? When I first heard this rumour, I said that I thought this was a Hail Mary pass by Russell T Davies and the BBC and Bad Wolf to get Disney back on board, because they have been hesitating extending the current deal, the international rights deal, and basically paying for about 60-70% of the third season. They've been stalling. So I think they needed to show Disney that they could get fans excited. And to be fair, I am very interested by this. And I've not really watched Doctor Who for a while. I'm not a Whovian by any stretch of the imagination. Loved Matt Smith, loved David Tennant, lost interest during Capaldi. But I was always a fan of Doctor Who. I always was. I just don't obsess on it like many of you guys do. And I'm excited by this possibility. I always liked Rose Tyler's character. I've liked Billie Piper in most things she's done. And, you know, I think this is interesting. Where they go with this is interesting. I will actually watch the third season if it ever gets made. I'm interested to see where they're going with this. Russell T Davies says they've got a storyline for 2 seasons already sort of planned out. They've got 3, 4, 5 episodes done. One of the episodes is on its 6th or 7th rewrite. Not a good sign. You know, all they need is basically for the BBC to figure out how to pay for it. That's basically all they need. The problem is, looking at all the comments I've had on my video, all the comments I've seen on Doctor Who sites, etc., there are people that agree with me that say this is quite exciting. But there's also an awful lot of people out there saying, I'm sick of seeing David Tennant, and now I'm sick of seeing Billie Piper again. It's about the third time she's come back. For the love of God, get over it. There's a small minority out there saying, we've tried to do a woman, it didn't work. Why are we going back to it? I don't agree with that. And there's an awful lot of people saying, why are we going backwards again? And an awful lot of people that do agree with me when I said this is a Hail Mary pass, and it is a slightly desperate move by Russell T Davies, Bad Wolf and the BBC to get Disney back on board. They did it with David Tennant, and they brought him back. And people were okay with that initially. They were like, okay, why is he back? This is interesting. Did they ever actually explain why it was David Tennant that came back? Why it was his face and everything? I also wondered why, when it regenerated back into David Tennant, how come his clothes burned away? I don't think that's normal, is it? And it going back into his suit, his famous suit. I digress. I think we kind of accepted that at the time because David Tennant's such a popular actor, and it did feel like a fresh start. It felt like a way of bouncing into this new era of Doctor Who. I don't think they can do it again, but they are. It isn't Rose. It isn't. As I said, I think it's Idris, but it could be something else. I think it's Idris and the Doctor, but it could be something else. And I'm interested to see what happens, but I can completely agree with people out there, and Whovians out there, or just fans, that are basically saying, this is kind of stupid. And even though there's lots of theories bouncing around, some quite ridiculous, some very sensible, that has generated that interest. But an awful lot of it is negative. Now, I will always argue that a negative minority are always the loudest. They're the people that will, I'm triggered, and they will go onto their computer and they will make comments. The people that enjoy an episode will just go, oh, that was nice. And then they aren't triggered. They aren't grabbing their phones and making comments. It is the angry minority that tend to be the loudest, but I'm seeing an awful lot of it. This is a Hail Mary pass. It was risky. When I did my little thing on our community page, most people agree this is risky. I don't think it's worked. And that's a problem, because Doctor Who is already in trouble. Its average viewing figures have dropped from 5 million down to 3 over the last 3 seasons, roughly, on average. And that's a problem. I know more people watch it on Disney now, maybe, but Disney don't seem that excited about picking it up again, which suggests maybe they're not getting the hours. I just wonder whether Doctor Who can take another beating. Maybe it does need a proper regeneration, a pause. Maybe it comes back with a double special or even a movie with Billie Piper. They explain the whole, I'm really the TARDIS thing, and then, surprise, and then they regenerate into a new Doctor, the 16th Doctor, and they move forwards with a new series. In a few years. Maybe. But what do you think? Because that's more important than what I think. Get into the comments and tell me. Does it need a pause? I don't know why I'm leaning on my arm like this. I've never ever done it before in a video. But I'm sticking with it. I don't care. Does it need to be paused? Does it need a few gaps? Does it need maybe a movie with Billie Piper and then move on? Or should Billie Piper be the 16th Doctor? Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. My light is dying. My light is dying. It's getting creepy. I need to charge it. But if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see these videos 24 hours before everybody else. Go check that out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.